Hey, book lovers, welcome back to Shelf Addiction, the podcast where we dive deep into the pages of thriller and fantasy reads. I'm your host, Tamara, and today we are covering our November thriller buddy read title. But first, quick heads up, if you crave the full visual experience and want to ditch the ads, head on over to our Patreon. You'll unlock ad-free video episodes, exclusive after shows, and tons of bonus content. If you prefer audio only, Spreaker listeners, you too have access. After shows and exclusives are now available there in audio. And finally, we are on Spotify. So if Spotify is where you're listening, you too can gain access to all of our after shows and more by subscribing. If you want even more bookish banter, join our community over on the Book Clubs app. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening. Speaking of community, I am thrilled to welcome back my fabulous thriller mystery co-host and friend, Classy, from the Bookish Virtual Assistant. Welcome back, Classy.
Tamara, good evening. Happy
Good
daylight
evening.
savings.
Girl, it's dark.
Maybe not happy. I know. I was in the bed real early yesterday.
Yeah.
It was sad. Felt
Me
good,
too.
but I'm just like, woo.
I'm tired. Look, we were supposed to get an extra hour of sleep, but I don't ever get the hour. I wake up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My dogs was like, ma'am, it's time to eat.
Look,
They
have
don't
you
care.
seen all those TikToks where people have their pets like at the dog bowl or cat bowl? Like, what are you doing?
Yes. And that's exactly how they are. They're like, hey, it's 3:30, ma'am. We chuck.
Yeah, our body knows what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Exactly.
poor pets. Oh.
Yeah.
And before we begin, of course, as always with book chats, we talk full spoilers here. So spoiler alert, you've been warned. Today we are discussing We Are All Guilty Here, written by Karen Slaughter. The audiobook is narrated by Kathleen Early. Published August 12th, 2025 by William Morrow and Harper Audio. The hardcover is 439 pages and the unabridged audio is 16 hours and 53 minutes. Classy, would you kindly share the synopsis?
Well, a first thrilling mystery in the new North Fall series from Karen Slaughter, New York Times bestselling author of Pretty Girls and the Will Trent series. Welcome to North Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone, or so they think, until the night of the fireworks, when two teenage girls vanish and the town ignites. For Officer Emmy Clifton, it's personal. She turned away when her best friend's daughter needed help, and now she must bring her home. But as Emmy combs through the puzzle the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. Every teenage girl has secrets, but who would kill for them? And what else is the town hiding? I didn't realize it was 16 hours. It went by pretty fast for me, anyway. Yeah.
And actually, I said the minutes wrong. It's 16 hours and 33 minutes, not 53 minutes. But stickler for details.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's a difference of almost 17 hours.
Yeah. And I did like the audiobook. It was easy to listen to. I mean, hell, I listened to like 4 hours of it today. So,
okay.
It was easy listening. The narrator was great. And the ending, I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at first you kind of think, oh gosh, it felt rushed, but then I kind of go back to the themes of the story or even the first quote in the book. Let's see, I did write it down. Because when it ended, I was like, but then I remembered the quote at the beginning of the book. Because, a lot of times we kind of overlook the quotes at the beginning of books. But this one stood out to me a lot, and it was by Orson Welles. If you want a happy ending, that depends, of course, on where you stop the story. And I felt like,
Facts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's a little ambiguous. But it also was foreshadowing in this story because it's, it hints that not all endings are neatly tied up.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes happiness is a matter of perspective. It's according to how
Mm-hmm.
you feel about it. Trauma and loss, everybody faces it. And I mean, if you probably talk to any other characters, their happy ending would be totally different. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Hannah's happy ending, she suffered a lot of trauma. But anyway, I know we're getting really into the weeds here, but
Well, she
but
left
yeah,
it in a way that's appropriate because I know you probably saw this, but there is another book. So
yeah, this is the first This is the first in a new series. So,
yeah, and I'm
yeah.
curious if this is going to be a long running one or like Will Trent or shorter. I'm curious. Do you know that?
No, but I have a feeling I don't think it'll be as long as Will Trent because Will Trent series, she kind of tied two series together, I believe, because it was like the Sarah Linton series, which was what one is Grant County and then Will Trent. I can't remember, but I don't think this will be as long as Will Trent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
so. Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking at least four. She's good for usually at least four books in a series, at least. But Will Trent was a long one. But then, like I said, she brought in Sarah Linton's story into his, which
Mm-hmm.
is not in the television series. So,
Right. So
yeah.
Grant County is 8 total works, 6 primary books. Will Trent is 24 total works, but 12
Okay.
primary books.
Yeah.
So, she can go
No.
either way. This could be short and sweet with a couple, or like you said, 4 or 5, or it could be something else, depending on.
Yeah, because she did another series that I did not really like the character. That was the Andrea Oliver series. Can't remember the first. Let me see if I can see
Mhm.
pieces of her. I did not like that series at all. And so far, it's only 2 books in that series. Her last one she published in 2022, and I'm like, please don't go back to her. Please don't. But anyway, she may or may not. But I did not like that character at
You
all.
didn't? Hmm.
No, that was probably one of the books of Karen Slaughter's that I ever gave a 3-star to.
Now, that one I did not read, but I did watch that adaptation, and it was
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I probably
Mhm.
like the adaptation better than the book, but it wasn't that great. I think I may have only liked the adaptation because I like Colette, the
Mhm.
actress.
Mhm.
I feel like, there's just some actresses or actors, I'll just say, that can bring a story to life. And I feel like Colette is one of those.
I thought for sure she was gonna do a sequel to The Good Daughter, but she didn't. I like that one. I
Hmm.
gave that one, like, 5 stars.
Yeah. That's her, like, one of her most popular, The Good Daughter and Pretty Girls. Those
Mhm.
two are like, those are two like standalones that are just like, and Pretty Girls was the first book I ever read by her, and I was hooked.
Yeah, Pretty Girls was good. I've read
Yeah.
that one as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this one I would look forward to reading more of this, sister, mother, daughter combo.
Yeah, I would too. Like, I did not expect that. That was a little twist that I did not see coming.
You know,
Um,
I didn't
did you?
see it, but I wasn't surprised at all.
No, not with this small town.
Mhm.
And all I could think of, and I couldn't wait for you to, to say, "Oh, high level, Classy. What do you think when you finish this book?" So here's I wrote it out: small town secrets, um, group silence, flawed justice system, aka can't trust county.
Never. Never.
I was like, they messed it up.
Mhm.
County messed it up. But that's what happens when you got these close knit communities who, uh, and I think that was probably one of the biggest flaws of being in a small community like that is because everybody knows you and you know everybody, and you tend to not look at them. You look at them through a different lens, which is how County messed up. They just assumed, here you have
Well, look, you
the,
want to trust your staff.
mm-hmm, that
You
too.
don't want to automatically assume that people on your staff that have been employed there forever are doing
Would do
dirty.
something. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the usual suspect is, he does this. He's known. He's the perv. He's known for, so he fit the profile. And
Mm-hmm.
that mob mentality that, once they kind of heard about the perv, he fit all of well, I won't even say he. This book, what Karen did in this book too, she kind of threw us off because it was like every chapter or every other chapter, she threw in somebody else suspicious. So it was like, here we thought it was this person, and then she would throw in another suspect every other chapter. So at one point it was Dale. One point it was the perv. It was, all these people. But again, in this small community, there was only so many suspects that you could have because it was, at first they tried, well, no, was it? No. And this one, they weren't trying to accuse someone from the outside. That was the second part of the book where they tried to accuse um, the lawn guy or the
Yeah, that was
landscaper.
only for like 2 seconds. That didn't hold
Yeah.
water for long.
No, no.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like they didn't go
Mm-hmm.
outside of the community where they thought this has got to be an outsider who did this.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an insider. And
Insiders.
insiders, yes. But yeah, it was somebody within the community and they were just trying to figure it out. And um, that was one of her little red herrings where she just kept throwing everybody.
But even a red herring, which was creative, wasn't really even that much of a red herring. And
No,
and by that I mean like the teacher. Was his name Dale? Was the teacher's name Dale?
Dale. Yeah.
So yes, he was washing his car with bleach. Did he do it? No. Was he a part of it? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, he got in trouble for all the kiddie porn he had, but he was involved. You know how they say birds of a feather? You
Yeah.
connected some kind of way.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he was, and they knew it because of his reaction when he saw the pictures in the locker. He was not, it was, it did not surprise him one
Mm.
bit. He just looked at him like, this is something I look at all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
these names she gave these people, their last names, Dale Laudermilk, Hannah Dale Rimple, Hunsinger. I'm like, where in the hell
Oh.
did you find these names? I guess small towns and these names. But Loudermilk. But yeah, it was like you said, and he was what, a theater teacher? No, choir teacher.
Yeah.
And and I had seen where some people were like, "Oh, these were just classic stereotypes." Well, that is it. Most of the time, those are you have people, teachers, the
Mhm.
the trusted people. So, I mean, I think I wouldn't have. I would have. It's what I would have expected. Someone trustworthy, because when you have this kind of crime, that's what happens. These people groom, and usually they're groomed by trustworthy people. So I wouldn't expect anybody less than a teacher
Mhm.
or, a physician or the dentist, the police officer. She threw me a little bit with the police, even though we know that they do this, but I was like, damn,
Yeah.
right under her nose.
That was kind of twisted though. I would have liked to know, did they just gravitate toward each other because they all like young girls? Or like how did they all fall into this? Because obviously Walton, who is Adam's father, Adam was the one who was originally went to jail, right? That was
Right.
Adam.
Yes. Hmm.
So Walton, he blamed everything on Virgil. He said
Yes.
he was the one in charge. He could turn us in. He could do anything. He made it seem like he had all the power.
Yeah. And
And
I'm assuming they probably met in some kind of chat groups or whatever. But I
yeah.
remember Virgil saying that he kind of recognized um, this pedophilia in the person. Because remember, he said he kind of recognized something in Dale. Because even though he said Dale wasn't with them, he's like, but I knew Dale liked younger girls.
Yeah, Dale
And
likes them younger than we do,
yeah,
basically.
but he said he recognized it.
Mm.
So I'm assuming, you know how like you can kind of tell when somebody maybe he recognized a look
Mm.
but he caught on that, hey, I think I found a fellow person. 'Cause you know how kind of like maybe he dropped or made a comment about a young girl or something and somebody wasn't offended or didn't correct them and he's like, got me one. But then
Yeah.
there was a comment in the book that Cole had mentioned that said pedophiles groom people around them. So that
That came up twice, which
yeah, and
actually leads to the name of the title. We are all guilty here
all guilty here.
because we all
Mhm.
witnessed, they groomed all of us. We're all at fault for this happening to these girls because we couldn't see it.
They tend to believe the pedophile over the victim because, who would
Or
believe
not even
them?
believe, like, not even consider. They didn't even consider because they
Good
were like, "Oh,
point.
no." They weren't even a thought because they're groomed so well.
The
Yeah.
respected pillars of the community, the
Mhm.
dentist, the deputy or whatever he was. Why would he do something like that? They're here to serve and protect. And as Walton said, I do so much good for the community.
And he
The
does.
self-righteous, yeah,
He
he's still a
does, but he
self-righteous pig.
also he also
Yeah,
is a
it's
murderer
disgusting.
and a rapist. Yeah. So I
Mm,
don't yeah, Virgil's doing his job, but he has a after job
mm-hmm.
that is in total opposition to what he does all day long.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, it's really crazy, and I know, like, I'm sure that hit Emmy, like, really bad, that the fact that she's working with this guy forever. Like, she grew up with this guy, and then for him to say those gross things to her, man, I would've shot his head off
Uh,
immediately.
oh my
I feel
God.
like, "You are disgusting, pow, pow." Like,
Immediately.
I wouldn't even given him a chance, but,
Yeah. But
uh,
she wanted to
yeah,
hear, yeah. But
she
yeah, he
wanted to
was
hear. Ugh.
disgusting. I mean, he was a mentor to her.
Yeah.
Like she said, Cole rode horses and at his house and oh, he was a trusted person to his dad. He was like her dad's right-hand man.
Yeah, he was chief deputy
Yeah.
and worked with her dad for decades.
Mm,
Ugh, so horrible.
yeah.
But it was kind of cool how the author was able to pull it all together and it made sense. It wasn't like one of these things where you're like, huh? How that happened? It made sense. It
Yeah.
gelled.
It did. Well, you know what we probably should have mentioned prior to all this, there's so many trigger warnings in this book because if this is your first time reading a Karen Slaughter book, um, she holds no punches.
It's
She's very
dark.
graphic. Yeah, it's very dark. She holds no punches. I know some people were like, "Oh, it was just too much."
Mm.
But
Well,
these are real things that happen.
this is more on the crime side of
Mhm.
thriller, right?
Yeah,
So when you
yeah,
have crime thriller, it's going to be a lot more heavy than like domestic thriller
yeah,
with spouses and stuff.
yeah.
So, she tackles tough things like girls missing, girls dying.
Child abuse, neglect, that I found child death, murder, kidnapping,
Yeah,
pedophilia, adult minor relationships, uh,
drugs and
graphic,
alcohol of minors,
mm-hmm, rape and sexual assault, torture,
prostitution,
mm-hmm,
all kind of things.
Yeah, addiction, alcoholism. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything that you could think of. I won't say everything that you could think of, but there was a lot of triggers in here. Um, and like you said, when you're dealing with crime, you're
Yeah.
gonna get the good, bad, and the ugly in this.
Yeah.
And she touched on everything, body shaming.
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know
it's
the
all on in the book, but I think so there were some details there that are a little queasy. We get into like for example, the author kind of goes into detail about how the bones were broken and why. That's a little you feel a little
yeah,
ick. And there's at a point where one of the guilty deputy kind of tells her like some gross stuff about him being into her when she was a kid. That's
yeah,
icky. But
yeah,
we didn't really get any actual abuse on the page. Thank God. We didn't have to
yeah,
experience that. So that is off page. We never see it,
yeah.
but we see the aftermath of it with one victim that is found.
Well, yeah. Well, some of the sexual violence or rape was kind of well, it was mentioned.
It was
Uh,
mentioned, but we didn't real
yeah, it
time
wasn't at the
deal with
real
it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on page. Yeah, but it was discussed. Yeah, more off page. Because when he said if they would have saw those videos of all that sucking in, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and I've read lots of Karen, but that probably was one line that had my mouth open.
Look,
And
a couple
I was
times
like,
I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, damn, that's effed up." Like, I literally had some very
yeah,
audible reactions to some of that stuff. Hell,
yes.
even the older, I keep wanting to say older sister, but it's not really her sister.
Jude,
Jude,
yeah.
but even Jude, when she confronted that guy in the bar, I'm like, "Shit!" Like, damn, girl. I'm like, "What the what
She
the
didn't
hell?" I did
hold
not
no
expect that.
yeah, held no punches.
No.
Or she was like, "Is this your penis?
Yo,
Is this your penis?
is this
Whose
yes.
vagina is this?"
And he like,
Uh,
And she
well,
goes
it's
and
like,
asks someone else, "Can you identify?" She goes to someone who runs well, I guess Emmy did this. She's like, "Hey, I know someone that's a waxer in town.
yeah.
Can you
Can you
identify?"
identify this? Got a little birthmark right over here.
Can you identify these marks on this female's anatomy? Have you seen
'Cause
it?
I know you've seen a lot in town.
Ah, like, who is doing that? Okay, girl. They, they not hold any
But
punches.
I'm assuming, like, I guess she would be the one to know. That's
Yeah.
kinda like a braider. Like, we had a crime here in our town where, some women were killed on Lane Bryant, and the suspect had braids. He was a black male, that's what they said. I don't know.
Mm,
And he had braids, and he had a very intricate design, and, the artist drew it, and I was like, "See, braiders," you know what I mean? Like, braiders know their designs, or
mhm,
like, that's my mark. That's how I do stuff. I know my braids. I know what kind of work, especially when it's intricate and not like a simple design. Like what I have is simple. It's just little parts, little squares, but this was intricate.
mhm.
So yeah, so somebody who waxes and sees
And it's a small
a
town.
variety. Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
small town, and they had like a birthmark or a mole or something. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And he tried to say that the girl was, somebody he met online. He was like, mm-mm,
And even the
no.
son. So even Emmy's son, he he sees the photo of the male parts and he's like, "Oh, I know who that's in." She like he's
Again, small town. It's like I've seen that eggplant before.
Cole's like, "So yeah, mom, I've seen that one."
Know who that belongs to. I can help you out on that one.
Oh my gosh. She like, "What?" Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. This was really just showed you like small town and how entangled. That's what I kept hearing, like all the entanglement of this small town and how everybody knows everybody. And then the Clifton family, how and and important they were in this town. Like they owned the fucking town.
Yeah, it's very strange. Anyone in a position of power was from that family, seemed like. They even had
Yeah.
the poor side and the rich side of that family.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I did like that part of how she chose this town, or her fictional town, and the dynamics of the characters. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the dual timelines, which I thought brought a very good balance to the story, because even in this dual timeline, it also showed it was like a 12-year difference from when they convicted Adam and then he was released. Yeah, 12 years, and how that trauma still lingered,
Hmm.
like that generational trauma. Even I say the generational trauma, even from Jude, from what was that, even 20 years prior. So, um, I I think she just used so many different elements
Hmm.
in this story, her plot devices. And like you were saying, like all that she had in this story, she brought it all together and it all made sense because it was a lot.
Yeah, so I think the author, she kicked this off with two missing girls, as it says in the synopsis, right? So these two girls go missing. And I kind of think that she leans into, I guess, traditionally how it works when someone goes missing. When a child goes missing, the clock is ticking. They know you got so many hours to find these girls before they are gone, like
Yeah,
deceased.
right.
And you feel the urgency of Emmy and her dad trying to like find these girls. And then honestly, when she found them, it was heartbreaking. I'm like,
Oh
"Oh,
God,
no. Oh my
I
god."
those were those moments where I think I almost. And then Kathleen Early, the narrator,
Yeah.
the emotion that she emoted reading that, oh
Yeah. It was crazy because Emmy was injured, but she would not stop until she had to check, and she ran to this lake, swam out in the middle of the lake, saw the girl. It was very sad, and then she had to, like, figure out what is holding her here.
yeah,
Went
what's
down and
anchoring
saw,
her?
yeah, saw another girl. The other girl, Cheyenne, was beneath her, and then there was a boulder underneath that. I'm like,
Yeah,
"What the?" This chick was injured. She pulled them out. She's like,
that's
that's
that
strength right
strength.
there.
Yeah. I was like, it reminds
Yeah.
me of the mama bear strength where, you see something and you can push over a car because you just have that much momentum and determination. And, she felt all that guilt, of turning Madison away. Um,
Yeah.
because Madison, and, early on in the story, Madison kind of was like, leave me alone, old lady. It's my birthday. I'm going to hang out with my girlfriend. But then all of a sudden, she's realizing that Cheyenne is taking too long to get to their meeting space. And she was like, maybe I should go talk to Emmy. But Emmy just had a big argument with her husband, Jonah, and was kind of embarrassed. She had this big blowout with her husband in front of everybody at the 4th of July event. And she sees Madison and she tells Madison, not now. And that was the last time she said something to Madison, and the last time she saw Madison.
Yep.
And she had
Alive.
that yeah, she had a lot of that guilt because what if? What if I did talk to Madison? Could I have saved her?
So I kind of see both sides because Hannah, who is Madison's mother and her best friend for many, 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 many years,
Yeah.
basically said, "Do not ever speak to me again. You selfish
Another
bitch,"
hard.
basically.
That one was hard too. That one almost brought me to tears too. 'Cause
I'm
that
like,
was a hell of a speech.
look, I understood. She's like,
Yep.
"You always put your deadbeat husband in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And the one time she comes to you for help, you brush her off. I can't defend this."
Mhm.
And that was the right thing to do at the time.
Oh, definitely.
But
Because
also,
teenage girls, you were a teenage girl.
yeah, yeah. But then also, I also understand you can't really play the shoulda, woulda game because anything could have happened. You could have talked to her and she could have
Could have
backpedaled
still.
and not told you everything. And
Yeah.
then you walked away anyway because she was not really being clear and you had work to
Yeah.
do. So,
Exactly.
anything could have happened. I don't think she would have spilled her guts. They were into so much dirt, doing so much stuff. There's
Yeah.
no way that Madison just would have spilled her guts. She probably would have said something like, "Hey, Cheyenne's not here yet. Can you help me
Yeah.
find her?" Or, something might be wrong. And what do you say to that? Like, you might not drop everything and say, "Missing child,"
Right.
because she's not going
Yeah.
to tell you the truth. She's 15.
Yep. She's only gonna give you bits and pieces. She's gonna
Yeah.
just breadcrumb you.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to get in trouble. She doesn't want to tell on her friend, but she's a little
Yeah.
bit worried. So you don't really know how much she's going to give you. So
Yeah.
you should not assume that talking to her would have changed the outcome. So both
Girl,
things
that
are
guilt.
true. Yeah, both things
Yeah.
are true.
Yeah. That guilt is.
Yeah,
Ooh. Yeah.
yeah.
That
And I feel
that
bad for
weighed
her
heavy.
for that. Like, that sucks.
Mhm. Right,
Yeah.
because during that time, even those 12, your one friend, because that was really like her one friend in this town. So the one person that you could rely on and talk to, you don't have. You see her, but you cannot talk to her. And during those 12 years, a lot has happened in that family. Her father, Gerald, he became really ill, cancer and some other illnesses. And then her mother started suffering from dementia. And she became basically, a caregiver to her parents. And, during those kind of moments, that's when you need your friend. Somebody to bounce something off, to just vent to. And she didn't even have that.
No, because her friend, her one and only friend, thought she was very selfish, and she was. Also, during those 12 years, she finally got a divorce from her awful husband.
Yeah.
After, she had been talking about divorcing him for years. And the friend was like, "I'm always listening to you. I'm always picking up the mess that your deadbeat husband is doing." She was tired
Yeah.
of her. So I understand Hannah as well. And, during that 12 years for her marriage tanked because they
Yeah.
usually say people don't usually survive a child's death,
No.
especially when it's like that. It
Yeah.
usually just doesn't happen. So her own marriage crumbled. She didn't have another best friend either. It's like they
Yeah.
both, and even Hannah kind of told Emmy, like, "Dude, you never even tried to reach out to me. You just dropped it." And it's
Like,
like,
how do you come back from that?
I don't
I
know.
remember
She didn't
that
even
line
try.
too. And I was like,
She didn't try.
I think I was just gonna be respectful, because I think too, like every time I looked at you, all I could see is that baby in that water.
Yep.
Oof.
But,
That was a hard one.
the
But you
Cliftons
gotta
don't believe in
confront.
therapy, though. They need therapy.
Girl, the Cliftons.
They need
Woo.
some therapy. If she had got some therapy, maybe she would have talked to her friend again.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Exactly. Woo.
But what brings them back together? What brings them back? Her
Another
ex
death.
her ex-husband wielding a gun tried to take her ass out. Tried to take
Mm,
Emmy out.
yeah.
And
Because he
Hannah,
never forgave her for
no,
his daughter's death.
no. And
Yeah.
even though technically she didn't do it, your anger is misdirected. I think I understand why you are upset with her, but I don't think she earned a bullet.
Wow. But he was
also an
that grief.
alcoholic as well, which he turned into after his daughter's death.
Yeah.
But, Hannah got in there and kind of shifted the gun a little bit, trying to stop him. And instead, Emmy's dad got it. He bit the dust. And that was sad. But then we found out later he had terminal cancer. So I'm like, well, he's going to die anyway. She's waiting on him to die,
shut
basically.
up. You sound like Jonah.
No, she was waiting on. Look, she admitted.
I know she was.
She said.
She did at the end.
Yeah, she was like, I felt like I had a timer for both of my parents. Now it's just waiting for it to be over. And she felt guilt about that.
Yeah.
So.
And but and that was, I felt like that was like a line that she gave to a lot of caregivers, like that was like a homage to them, that I see you, that having that kind of thought, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's a lot to carry. I thought that was a very important line in this book.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she has had to deal with that, with being a caregiver, or had a friend, but it was like a weight was lifted off of this woman. And I really enjoyed, that her boyfriend, kind of supported her, or I won't say supported her, that this was like that one moment, like you said, out of all the time that he's ever known her, or she's known him, that she was this open. Because, Cliftons don't.
I mean, she basically dumped the man.
Yeah.
Right? And he came back around like, oh, your father was just murdered. Let me help you,
Yeah.
So good for him. He's a good guy, because he didn't have to, the way she played him.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, let's take a quick break. When we come back, there's more to discuss. There's a lot going on in this book. Listen to the commercials. By doing that, you are supporting the podcast. Also, feel free to pick up a copy of the book review journal, available on Amazon. Click around, do all the things, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I would love to talk a little bit about the relationship that Emmy had with her dad.
Okay.
I gotta say, I'm like kind of jealous of that relationship a little bit. Like, that is such a, the Cliftons were not perfect, right? They're police. They kind of cut their feelings off and keep their heads down and do the job, right? So they didn't have the most touchy-feely relationship, but they talked to each other.
Yeah.
And they had a great relationship. They were able to work together. They talked all their stuff through with each other. I'm like, wow, that's kind of a really cool father-daughter relationship they had.
Yeah. And I believe is because he realized he lost that opportunity with Jude or Martha. And here was his time for redemption.
It's a redo.
As they say, mistakes give you the opportunity to forgive and to and I think he saw, every time he saw Emmy, he was like, this could have been, and I'm going to do right with Emmy because I didn't get it right with Martha, because he was an alcoholic. The mom was a cheater, like they both. Again, more family secrets. But when Emmy came, it was time. It was like their opportunity to redeem themselves, because they had lost a son. Even though I guess we can rewind. Martha was supposedly killed or had died too, but that was a story that they made up to protect her as she got out of town. But
I think they blamed her for the son's death. So just a little info on that. It's revealed that, when Jude goes to talk to this guy at the bar, she was assaulted by him when she was a teenager. Then we find out that day that her brother died, she was telling her brother what happened. Her big brother. They were sitting out by the lake getting drunk, and she tells him what happened. He says, let's go beat this motherfucker up. And she's like, no. She falls asleep. He doesn't. He either falls in the lake, gets in the lake, something happens and he drowns because he was so intoxicated, and he had some drugs in his system as well.
Yeah.
So he died, she didn't, and I'm sure they blame her for that, even though they don't know what happened to her. They don't know what they were doing out there talking about because kids don't tell.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that was horrible. She lost her brother. She lost her family as well.
Yeah.
And then she turned around and lost her daughter. So I kind of like how there is no white hat in this book. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has done something. Everyone has their own burden to bear. No one's clean. Nobody.
No.
We are all guilty here.
Here. Yeah. And the father, the guy who raped her, was Adam Hunsinger.
Yes. Who was the guy who went to jail for the murder in the first place? And he is a rapist. He's raped other people. It's because it's known he became a rapist. And yes, you're a rapist and your father is a rapist.
And we can assume that he is Emmy's dad. But I'm assuming that may be something in the
Maybe
the future
later.
books. Yeah. Because I mean the timeline adds up.
Oh, I hope not.
It adds up, right?
Yeah.
She left and
then
but who's to say? I mean,
know.
she went to Nashville too to be a singer. So hopefully, maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
But I was like, wow. And that's why Adam kept assuming that Jude set him up with the hammer.
Yeah.
Because he knew he had raped her 12 years. Well,
but
not
he
12,
wasn't
20
thinking,
some years.
where would she get the weapon from?
Yeah.
Like, why would where would she get that from? They didn't have it for your trial, so it's not like she just pulled it out of thin air. That's not possible.
Yeah. Well, and then the hammer, but the hammer that he had fresh blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And old blood, because he kept it.
Yeah.
The daddy kept it.
Yeah.
Or not the daddy, he didn't have it, but Virgil had it.
Virgil was the mastermind. Yeah. Which call was just the freak.
Oh, gosh.
Walton was just the freak trying to play shuffling like he was Tim Conway from Kira Brunette, just shuffling around that house. Go and sit your ass down, Walton.
This fool is trying to act like he is old and decrepit.
Boy, he got around that corner and hit them steps the way they made it sound. Like,
So, and again, you see what you want to see. Because Emmy was like, how did I not notice this before? All the stuff that just were popping out at her. Like she saw
the wallet.
The wallet. And she's like, wait a minute. It's like, she said, was I just Delulu before? I think she had a little bit of confirmation bias.
Yeah.
They were gunning for Adam. Yeah. And that was correct, but in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, because he fit the profile, you know, he was the perv. He was seen around town with young girls, smoking, selling them drugs. The necklace was there. So, yeah, like you said, well, confirmation bias.
Yeah, he was a bad guy. He did bad stuff. He was a rapist. He did bad things, but he didn't kill those two girls.
Yeah.
So he needed to go to jail for some other things. And because of that, and he was the likely suspect, you know.
It's the profile.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. He fit the profile and everybody else didn't.
Yeah. But instead, these two old men, and it came out, and all the proof was there. Like when they started digging into like the messages and the phones and the it was honestly, it was chef's kiss how they started like trying to figure this out. They were like, let's change our point of view. Let's not think about this from the girl's point of view. Let's think about this from the killer's point of view. Why will we do this? What's the catalyst? And then how they came to two men.
Yeah. And then when they were, you know, like profiling what kind of man would this be? Someone recently divorced, something had tragically happened. Because remember, they said it had to have happened within like 7 months. Something had happened within 7 months of the girl's death, like 7 months prior. And if I'm not mistaken, because I tried to do the math, Virgil's wife had left him. Remember, they were getting a divorce, and she had, or yeah, but they were, they were piecing all the timelines, and it's like, is somebody trusted in the community? Because at first, when they said that, I was like, please, dear Lord, do not tell me that is Jack's dad who's done this, the physician, the one who had gave Madison the prescription for birth control, because that's who. I mean, because at that point, that was like the only like trusted person that I would think who was revealed to us at the time. We hadn't even heard about Walton at the time.
We
But
knew
we had
about
knew
him
about
early, but we looked right past him like the author wanted us to. She talked to the doctor about the birth control in the same range of 30 hours as she talked to Walton when they went to look for. Remember, that whole thing was about 30 hours, up to 36 hours or
yeah.
something.
Oh, yeah. But when I thought it was the doctor, not the dentist, it was before she had even talked to the dentist. When
Oh.
I was like, please, dear Lord, don't let it be Jack's father. She had in the book, when I got to that part, they hadn't got to the dentist yet. So, and then I just kind of overlooked him after that, because I was just like, not the dentist. But I was just assuming it was,
Well, he had an
um,
alibi, remember?
mm-hmm,
So it's easy to bypass him because,
yeah,
and then
he had an alibi.
and she pulled it back perfectly. Like at the end, when he started running his mouth like the Scooby-Doo villain and telling all the business,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, actually I was wet, but it wasn't because of the showers, because I came out the lake. Yeah. Vic, oh boy, was also wet, but y'all didn't seem to pay him any mind. He was wet too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the boots, the
Yeah.
prints, they discarded those because the agents for the officers, they were all, they were like, nope, those are all boots for officers. And then the
Yes.
scratch on his arm, he said it was from the rose
Prickly. Yeah.
bush, or
Prickly
the prickly
bush.
bush. Yeah. So all
Not a
those
girl
little,
trying to scratch her face off.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything at the beginning that we just take for granted because the author tells us, we see later, like from a different perspective, like, damn, it was right there
Yeah.
the whole
And
time.
she did do that with the different points of view. I
Yeah.
did like that in the story, where she brought this story from different points of view that we got to see. It wasn't just from Emmy's side of the her viewpoint.
Right.
She yeah. But like you said, all those little pieces when they just started to unravel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how, because he did all the tech. And he kept all the records in his house. And he just made it seem, and I didn't think anything of it, because I'm like, oh, it's a small town. Maybe they didn't have enough room in their little uh place. And
Don't
he
you
just
have
kept the
Iron Mountain in Atlanta? Come bring that Iron Mountain truck up here to get these files and put them somewhere. Don't let somebody
yeah.
take them home. Are you crazy?
Yeah. And then just,
Can't
he
trust county. You gonna let somebody
can't
put that
trust him.
somebody?
Yeah. Just
Wow.
crazy.
Mm.
But yeah, it was just really uh funny how the phone records, because he was in charge of tech. So he
Mm-hmm.
was like, nope, we can't trace them. They had these uh what do you call those? Pay as you go phones, so you can't find that kind of stuff. And one of the lines that really stuck with me was, I guess, when they were talking about what kind of man probably that would be with these girls. And I guess he said it's probably some old guy, or somebody who's probably blowing dust or something. and
Mm.
and Virgil was like, I'm not blowing dust, son. And I was just like, oh, because you remember Virgil kept himself up. He was working out. But they were just thinking because of the horses. No, because he
Right.
is attracting young girls at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
just.
yeah,
Mm.
those little lines, like you're saying, she said all this stuff in the beginning, and then when it's slowly revealed, you just be like, "Oh yeah, that line. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that line. I remember that one."
Yeah.
So
And you know what's
Yeah.
crazy is I think that kind of stuff happens in real life, like, especially in the early days, because like, before, like, I don't know, 30 years ago, what they say, now it's like DNA is king, right? But back then, that DNA wasn't that great. Like, what we're able to do now isn't that great. So,
Yeah.
it's easy. Like, even now, people go to jail and they didn't do it. So
Yeah. And this story, because I was trying to do the timeline too, because I think this story may have taken place like 2007 or something. I can't remember. There were some things in the book where they were mentioning years. So I was, because the phones that they were talking about was like a Nokia,
mhm,
they had the little camera
mhm,
in there with the SD card. Um, so yeah, just all those little different techie things. And like you're saying, probably couldn't ping off towers or figure out all that.
mm,
Maybe, maybe not. But I will say, because we have read some books, crime fiction or thrillers, where the author didn't do their homework and we could tell
mhm,
because it was like, that don't make sense. Karen does her homework. There was not too I don't think I noticed anything that just seemed like really like, that just doesn't make sense.
right.
I felt like she researched the hell out of everything that she did. I mean, everything down to the bone breaking and like the mind of these suspects,
Mhm,
like the dentist who said, yeah, we like to do that with the hammer, the
mm,
vibration,
yeah,
like that. That's wicked.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's something that you had to like study a fucking serial killer
Yeah,
to
because 'cause I'm
know
like,
that.
why would you wanna hear all those bones breaking?
He said that vibration just, and it probably turned me. That's all I could think of is that it was in a sexual manner to him because he said he didn't wear gloves because he liked that
Yeah.
feel, but Virgil did. But Virgil did it because he knew as a detective or as a officer, you could trace everything back to. He said he waxed. He got waxed.
Yes,
This man
he
got
did everything.
waxed.
He wore, like, condoms and everything because of
Hmm.
that. He's
Yeah,
like,
but
"I
this
wear
old
gloves and
man was
everything."
just all
N
willy nilly because he didn't give
nasty.
a care. Yeah.
Nasty mother.
And right,
He
and
just
those 2
oh god.
parallels, that you
Ugh.
got here, you got this doctor, and that's
Right.
something else too that I saw, the differences is in these 2 people and how grotesquely different they are in both different careers. So here you have a man of medical background who you would think would be the one wearing, but I know Virgil was an officer, he knew how,
But a
DNA
medical
and
doctor, let's think about it for a minute though.
mhm.
Cheyenne was getting around town making a lot of money,
Yeah.
not just selling drugs. She was selling the BJs for $50
Yes.
and who knows what else she was selling.
Yeah.
So why would you not just take the extra effort because you know Cheyenne is fast?
Yeah. No, because he was nasty. But that yeah,
Nasty.
but those are just nasty,
Nasty.
just a old wormy, nasty old man. But yeah, but he in but that those 2 parallels is here you have somebody in the medical field who knows what you can get
Mhm.
from this, but you chose not to. And here you have Virgil. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, but she does her research and she did it well. And it was just some of the things in there that was just chilling that like she just didn't make this crap up off the top of her head and was like, let me see if it sticks. No, 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 no.
She read it somewhere in her research or she
Or
heard
she
of a
talked to
serial killer.
somebody.
Yeah.
Mhm. Or she talked to somebody, some police department, and she was probably like, "What's the creepiest you've ever heard?"
Look, so we know that thriller authors come from like a lot of times legal backgrounds or they know legal people.
Yeah.
police, FBI people. They all like work in the same networks. It
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be too tough to call up somebody and be like, "Talk to me about some of
Listen.
the grossest stuff you've seen."
Yeah. Yeah. Because some of this
Yeah.
stuff, I just cannot. Oh,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
did like, you know how you said she's even did her research, and it's true even with the technical stuff, with the phones and stuff. Because of the type of phone during that time, she even said, like, they were trying to figure out, can you even text on that phone? What phone is that? You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like about the SIM cards and things like that. It was very correct. It was all correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that,
Yeah.
like you said, during that time, and when she was saying, I was like, "Ooh, I remember that. I remember the little," but I didn't know about the little car, the camera. And then when she said that, all I could think of is how many creepy men were probably sitting in parks with that phone videotaping people.
That still
Just,
happened today.
yeah. But now, yeah. But now everybody can record. You don't just need a Nokia with that one model.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So gosh. But yeah. Um, just a lot of story, but she brought it all together. She wrapped it up. I won't say nicely in a bow because it wasn't all nice and pretty, but she wrapped it up like you said. It made sense. I got my title of the book
Mhm.
in the story.
It made sense.
It made
Yeah.
sense. She said, if you are looking for people to blame, there's no one to blame because we're all
Everybody's
guilty
to
here.
blame.
We're all complicit.
Yeah.
Somebody looked the other way somehow, some way in one of these stories.
Because
Oh,
honestly, with such a small town, and I know it's that whole bias. You think this person is good, so you don't even look at them funny if they're somewhere odd that they probably shouldn't be. You just
AKA
kinda let it.
Virgil.
Yeah, you just kinda look the other way, like, "What are you doing?" I've
Yeah.
seen him talking to a teenager at the mall, but I don't know, he's a police, he's fine, it's just Virgil.
Yeah. Right. Like Dale even said, "Oh, I took lots of girls on that trip to, for whatever little choir trip." Granted, he liked them younger, but you know what I mean? Like, and my wife was in the next room. Oh, he couldn't possibly do anything because she's next door. Oh, but he could. But he didn't. But, those little simple
Mm,
things.
mhm,
Virgil at the mall, part time security. Oh,
mhm.
he's just, making sure the girls are okay. He's protecting them. And
But
like
this
they
I
also
bet the
said,
students knew, though.
yeah. But another line that I thought of too is that most girls that pedophiles go after are girls who are taught how to behave or to basically be kind of submissive or was that the line? It wasn't the exact line, but I think you may understand what I'm saying, where they're taught how to follow the rules. And that's who Cheyenne was originally. Because remember, her parents were very religious, um, follow the rules, do this, do that. And so was Madison. And so was Paisley, all those parents. But eventually he slowly started picking away at them. But originally, that's who they go for. Because he's like,
Yeah, I
oh,
think because
they
they wanna
respect
rebel.
authority.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
noticed that, but they don't wanna be that. They
No.
hate their
Right.
parents.
Exactly. But he also knows that, oh, but they respect authority. So they start off respecting, like Walton said, Madison was our good little girl, but she could be. But originally, she was their good little girl. Yeah.
She was through the end. I mean, honestly, when we start to dig into all the things that they find out about Cheyenne, Madison's always, and even other people are like, yeah, they're always together, but Cheyenne's the ringleader.
Yeah.
Everyone says that.
Except for Cheyenne's mama, but we knew what that
Right,
was
because
about.
she's delusion. She's Delulu.
Yeah, she
But
was. Yeah.
everybody else knew who was running the two of them.
The
And
mastermind.
Madison was running around behind her trying to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
That was a good story, but it had a lot. It was a lot in there.
Yeah.
Very
I
heavy.
had lots of emotions with this book.
Mhm.
Um, Lots of emotions. But again, I knew it was a Karen Slaughter book. I was ready. But she gutted me a few times here. And there was, like
Yeah.
you said, there was some moments I was like, Karen, you went there. Like, as my friend says, I would love to be her therapist. I know this woman, she's got to have some kind of therapy. Because where do you come up with some of this stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah.
She got something going on, I'll tell you that. I don't
But
know, but
life is stranger than fiction. So, and that's the other thing. Like people are like, "Oh, it's so dark," but you could best believe there's something like this out there. It's just,
well, we hear well, I won't say we hear. I listen to true crime sometimes, and this is right up that alley.
yep,
You see, the people talk about kids that just go missing. And then you find out, well, this person had interaction with them, that person had interaction. You hear
and
all these
nobody said
theories.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
and like, yeah.
yeah. So it happens in real life every day.
Yeah, I mean, there was the few tales of, like social workers who have gone to these houses and knew these kids were in danger or lived a life that was just so bad. And then all of a sudden they go missing.
Mhm,
And you're like,
mhm.
you visited the house how many times? And
Right,
you didn't report this?
right.
So, so yeah, it is. And like I said, it's not for everybody. It could be too dark for some people. Um, I like her writing. I will continue to read more Karen.
Yeah, she's a good
Bring it
author.
on, Karen. Bring
She's a
it on.
very good author, and she, like the points we mentioned, she knows how to bring it home. She knows how to seal the ending. She does the endings right, and for this genre, a happy-go-lucky ending is usually not what you get. So no
Right.
one should be expecting that.
No.
I feel like if I can get a satisfying explanation of everything, that's good enough.
Yeah. And you know what else I like about her writing too is even though this is crime fiction and mystery, she doesn't just go into like a whodunit and solving it. She dives into all the moral and ethical dilemmas that people go through within the story, because, so many times with mysteries, and this is the thing too that we have found with some stories, you kind of know, like, oh, I figured that out already. I saw that coming. I saw it a mile away. Hers aren't just classic whodunits. She delves deep, and I think that's the other part of hers with the darkness too, is that she delves deep into the psyche of her characters. There's just so much more to it than a mystery. And like, I mean, it's a psychological, but there's just something with her writing that I feel like there's another level to it.
Yeah, because she's able to give, like, a full, well-rounded
Okay.
point of view on not only the police side of the characters, but the victim and their families as well. So
Yeah.
it's
And the
not
human side
yeah,
of each of those
it's
persons.
evenly balanced, I think
Hmm.
I would say, because some books is so heavily focused on solving the crime and the victims that we
Yeah.
don't really get much insight to the people solving the crime and, everybody that's kind of surrounding those people. It's all about that, and only
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. How many times have we said, oh God, if we could have heard it from this point of view?
Mhm.
It would have been interesting if we would have knew from another point of view. And that's what she does is that I know I thought I had seen somebody call it, was it like can't remember, polyphonic narrative where she tells it from multiple storytelling views. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I do. that I do like about her
But it's
stories.
not too many. So, like, she has, like, for example, she does have a lot of characters in her book, and we know other authors that love to pack their book full of characters, but all those characters aren't getting POV. She's very strategic with,
Yep.
where we're getting the story
Stories
from,
from.
and then it still feels well-rounded because I still feel like I knew her father. I felt like I knew Emmy. I felt like I
Yes.
knew her sister. I felt like I
Yeah.
knew, like, all those people, Hannah,
Even Tommy, her brother, who
Yeah.
only had such a small part, but we knew he was a teacher who
Mhm.
who was also the little brother who didn't get that much attention. Like you're right.
Yeah.
Even those Celia, his wife, who was the principal, who
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like all those little bitty pieces we knew about them. So yeah, she does. She her character development is chef's kiss.
Yeah, nothing is like honestly, no one is a throwaway. Cause like, you know how you read some stuff and you're like, "What was the point of that character? We never saw them again. What happened?" Like,
Right.
she doesn't do
Everybody that
that.
she brings to the page has an important role,
Yeah, they all have a
somehow,
purpose.
some way. Yeah,
Yeah, no one's a throwaway.
yeah.
And being that this is gonna continue on, we're gonna see some of these characters again. I'm sure we'll see all the parts of her family again, even her rude ass aunt, great aunt.
Melly Clifton.
Yeah, tell her old ass to go sit
Like
down somewhere.
how is she announcing herself before she comes into Millie Clifton? So I was like, why is she saying? And I was like, because at first I was like, is she calling Emily? Is she calling her Emily Clifton? And I was like, this woman is announcing herself.
She rude.
Well, and I really do think that we are going to learn about every last one of them because if you remember in the story, and I know we'll probably wrap this up soon, she mentions all of the idiosyncrasies of all of the family members. Remember, she said Hannah was the one to help her tell her that one of the uncles or one of the cousins like taking the stickers off fruit. Millie
Mhm.
was a klepto. Um, Tavy has OCD. You know what I mean? She mentioned like all of their little idiosyncrasy. So I was like, there's a point to that.
And she was also the one who was able to look up on, what is it, Circle 360 or whatever, Family
Mm-hmm.
360. I'm like, "You and"
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "You track her? You know where she is?" I'm like, "Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna come back later."
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is it's there's something important to us knowing all those things about her family members. So,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's North Falls and the Cliftons own this city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, though, one character we didn't really talk about was Paisley, the girl who was missing the
Oh,
second
yeah.
round.
Hmm.
I felt so horrible for her. Like, yeah, she lived, but her quality of life is trash. I feel like kinda torn on the decision to leave that character alive versus killing her off because on one hand, I feel like, "Yay, she's alive, they found her," but on the other hand, I'm like, "What kind of quality of life is that?" That girl is, like, fucked up. Like, I
Yeah.
feel really bad. Like, that was sad.
Yeah. But I also, from a parent's point of view, I felt like regardless as a parent, they probably would want their daughter back. And that was like the goal of bringing her home to her parents. But yeah, I
Yeah.
felt the same way that she is not, she's probably gonna, she's gonna struggle.
Yeah, they're
She is
saying they
going
don't
to
know
struggle.
if she can use her hands again.
Yeah.
Like,
And,
her whole life has changed.
mhm, she might, like you said, we don't know. She could lead a life of drugs, addiction, any kind of thing, rely upon, have to be taken care of by her parents. But that was one of the things is, bringing the child home to the parents. And um, it was a tough decision, but I think like that's kind of like the end goal when a child goes missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, is to bring them home to the parent,
You want
dead
them
or
home
alive.
unmutilated,
Yeah,
unmolested. But,
Mhm.
that doesn't always happen, but I guess and that's why I was saying, like, this ending, it was not happy, but it was kinda satisfying, like, okay, they got their kid back, but was it happy? Hell no. That girl has a
Nope.
long road ahead, and everyone
They
knows
said
it.
if you want a happy ending, that depends, of
Where you
course, on
where
where
you
you
stop.
stop the story. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah. I know some people are probably like, it was selfish because that's just what Emmy wanted. But to be honest, she wanted to bring that girl home, but the girl didn't have to have a pulse.
Look, dead or alive, you have to bring the child home, dead or
Right.
alive, because people don't
Mm-hmm.
wanna wonder,
Nope.
which we addressed in the book earlier when those 6 days were, her Emmy's brother was drowned. They couldn't
Yeah.
find him, and they were like, "Could he
Yeah.
be alive?"
Yeah.
Or even the other character who was talking to, uh, the sister, Martha,
Mm.
when she finally
Oh,
brought her daughter home, she was
yes.
able to finally close the book on it because they're
Yeah.
always wondering, is there a chance?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the goal
Yeah.
is to bring them home regardless
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
closure, good or bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
but also you mentioned like being selfish about things and kind of doing what people want. Like we didn't talk about how the mother, when she had her faculties, she said, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be walking around this house not knowing who anybody is. I don't want y'all having to change my diapers and do this and do that. And they kind of disobeyed her wishes for a while
Yeah.
until they couldn't ignore it anymore.
Yeah. It was like they were turning a blind eye to kinda almost like in this story. Here she's in your face saying, "I don't want this. It's blatant and can't remember. Don't do this." And you guys
Yeah.
still go against, the grain. So, until
Because
to the point where it just couldn't be done anymore.
it was sad. Because I mean, I've had dealt with dementia in my family. And to see that it wrecks you. I
Yeah.
could see why she wanted to be away from her family when it got that bad. Like, why would you wanna put your family through that? And the fact that they were so like, the one brother was like, "I don't agree," and the dad was like, "I don't care if you don't agree, it's my choice.
Yeah.
It's not up to you,"
Right.
you
I mean,
know?
and he lived, some of the brutalest of it. In the middle of the night, she scratched him, she beat him because she
They
just,
fight
they
you because
didn't,
they don't
yeah,
remember
don't
you,
rec.
they don't know where they are,
Yeah.
so their instinct is to fight, and guess what?
Mm-hmm.
People are very strong, stronger than you would think.
Think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's fight or flight. And
yeah,
they're fighting for their life. To them, they're fighting for their life. So,
yeah, it's
but yeah, the
crazy.
mom, yeah.
It's a
Oh,
crazy situation, and I feel like and they did that for as long as they could. They went too long, probably. They went too
mm,
long.
yeah. The dad even mentioned it.
Yeah,
That, hey, probably should have did this a long time ago.
yeah.
And then it got to the point too, I think that he was like, "Wait a minute, she might tell Emmy, you ain't my well, she did tell her you ain't my daughter." But she was later probably like, "Woo, maybe we should just get her on out of here. She gonna
And the
tell
funny
all the
thing,
family secrets."
look, family secrets, you know who told the family secret on they deathbed was the daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
You worried about the mother talking. You
Yeah, he
talked.
did.
I
Mhm.
mean, he did it
You said
such
he
a
ain't had nothing to lose.
it was so cryptic she didn't catch it, but, you know,
Tell your
her mother
mom.
caught it
Yeah.
when she told her about it.
Yeah.
Dang, like, tell your mother I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Yeah. But
Ouch.
she didn't think about it because at the moment she's like, "My dad is dying. Yeah, 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 I'll tell mom."
Yeah.
And then it hit her. My mom is not my mom. Martha is my mom.
So you think she
She
knows, or you
Oh, yeah,
think she
definitely.
kinda
Yeah, there was a line in the end of the book where she said, oh god, it's right at the end where she says that, "I think dad was referring to
yeah,
you." And I don't yeah, she does know. Gosh, I can't remember the
because he
line.
wrote a letter, and she thought he was trying to say he was sorry in the letter. So, now I think that the verbal words she thought was for her mother, her known mother, but I think that she thought the letter was for her sister, but I don't think she
Yeah, at the end of the book, she does. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. The line that says it. Come on. Right at the end, just before the book.
yeah,
But she does know. And then right before that, she mentions, hey, you want to make whatever mom's casserole? I have the recipe. But
yeah.
she does mention, um,
Well, it's
she
definitely
does know that that's
implied.
her mother. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely implied that she knows the truth.
Mm-hmm. And she just kind of moves on like, hey, well, I know you're my mom. Let's keep it moving.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's go make this family stuff. I don't
It's
know.
tradition.
I don't
Ugh.
know. That's wild. They're gonna have to talk about that again eventually.
Yeah,
You're not gonna be able to just
definitely.
kinda do that and just never bring it up again.
Yeah. Ugh. Well,
Anyway.
I'm looking forward to it. Probably gonna be another 3 years, but anywho.
Actually, on Goodreads, it says next year. So,
Oh.
unless this is like a false date and it'll update it later, it just says the new novel. It doesn't have a title yet, but it says expected June 18th, 2026.
Ooh.
So it's not titled, but it's
Okay.
there.
So,
Um,
so she been paid.
yeah, so I'm thinking she must have just been busting her ass on these and she just probably wrote straight through. She probably didn't even stop.
Yeah, because she really hasn't. Well, she did one other book that I did like something lie. Um. So yeah, the woman can push out some books. I could tell you
Because
that.
if June is a real date and it doesn't get postponed, that thing is almost nearly done or done
Mm-hmm.
because it still has
Yeah,
to be
it's
edited.
probably edited. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh
Mm.
gosh.
I'm
So
looking
yeah,
forward
I'm
to it.
excited. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's one of those authors too. I haven't read everything in the Will Trent series. And she's one of those authors where if like I don't have anything to read, I know I can go pick up one of her, like I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have like 4 or 5 books from Grant County and some other that I haven't read. And I could have just finished them off, but I'm like, those are like my little go-tos. If I don't have nothing else to do, I'll just go pick up a Karen slot.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I could reread them too, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, This Is Why We Lied. That was a good one. That was a Will Trent. And
Mm.
see, that's one of those Will Trent, Sarah Linton crossovers.
Mm.
So, but yes. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
I guess
Let's
we're
rate
gonna
it.
wrap it up.
Let's rate it.
Are we gonna talk about the narrator? Or we talked about her? We like Kathleen.
Yeah, I liked her. I don't think I've listened to anything else with her. Her name doesn't
I've
ring a
listened
bell.
I listened to one other book where Kathleen was a narrator, and I was like, who the hell? Like, Kathleen, you only do this book. Like, I just
Oh,
could
wait.
not
She's done a
get.
lot of Karen Slaughter, so I have heard her before.
Yeah, she only there's only one book, one maybe two that she didn't do of Karen's books. And when I start listening, I was like, who in the hell is this? It just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it's like that's
It
her
wasn't.
go-to narrator.
Yep, that's her go-to narrator. And Kathleen did, I think it was a book by Serena Bowen. And I was like, ugh,
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but like when you're so used to this is the voice of,
Mhm.
it was hard to get into the book. I finally did, but
Mhm.
I think, yeah, I Kathleen is Karen Slaughter's narrator for me.
Yeah.
But
I just
I'm
scrolled
ready
through. I haven't read any of these other people, the other authors she's narrated for,
to
but
shoot.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think it might
Mhm.
have been a Serena Bowen. That was the only other time I've heard her.
Mm.
But yeah, love Karen. I mean, love Kathleen. I hope she does stick with Karen. Um, got job security if she does. So
All
All
right.
right.
So let's go ahead and rate the book. What
I
did
gave
you
it
rate
a
it?
4.
Same. I rated it a 4 too. It's a solid 4, solid entry, great start to a new series.
Definitely. I know it
Yeah.
got a little slow in the middle, but I think that's because of the character development. But yeah, solid 4.
Good job, Karen. Woohoo! All right. So that is it for today. Thanks for listening to the entire episode. We appreciate you for doing that. Don't forget to subscribe and stick around because you'll want to see what we're reading next. This should be fun. And of course, join us over on the Book Clubs app and you can talk about it with us there. Over 500 people are there. Come on over and join us. And yeah, that's it for today. You guys have a fabulous one and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, please head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave a positive 5-star review. It's a simple action that makes a big difference. You can also like this episode on your favorite podcast player or share it with your fellow bookworm friends on social media. Joining the Shelf Addiction Patreon family is another way to support us. For as little as $2 a month, you can help our team create even more amazing bookish content. If Patreon isn't your thing, consider becoming a supporter on the Spreaker app for just $5 a month and gain access to exclusive audio-only content. You can find me everywhere, including Instagram, X, and TikTok under the handle Shelf Addiction. Join our book club of the same name on the Book Club's website and app, where we discuss all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. Thanks for tuning in.